What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Comeback Couples Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jennison, with
Kendra Jennison.
And I'm going to read this meme, if you will, real quick.
All right.
Great marriages don't happen by luck or by accident. They are the result of a consistent investment of time, thoughtfulness, forgiveness, affection, prayer, mutual respect, and a rock-solid commitment between a husband and a wife. What do you think about that?
I absolutely love it.
Forgiveness, though. I don't really think I've had to forgive you and you had to forgive me. Or is it a different type of, maybe you do have to forgive me for being so fucking crazy.
I don't know if it's so much as forgiveness as just like acceptance. Like I just, that's who you are. And
they didn't say acceptance on this.
Yeah. So I think that's also what they mean.
So
I'm just gonna throw that in there.
Well, I want to accept some facts. So this podcast, couple different things, right? I want to come from a place. The team has debated back and forth a little bit, had conversations about like the content that we hit that slams, right?
Slamming? Shit
slams, like the stuff that we're trying to put out there that has a ROI, which how do you calculate a ROI is like typically on dollars. I don't know if there's any quantifiable dollars from what we do together, but the ROI that I get from doing this podcast with you is like, it far exceeds every bit of money I make.
I love doing it with you.
And that's, so the reason I want to say that is because there's a lot of people that love this thing. And sometimes the team's like, yeah, we need to only talk about alcohol. We need to talk about this. Sure. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't fucking just want to talk about alcohol. I love this 1 hour or 40 minutes or 30 minutes. My wife comes in, or you, obviously my wife, you come in and it changes the dynamic of the day. Now they're doing these on Mondays. It's a little bit different. So I'm in a better mood, not as fucked up. But like on Thursdays, we were doing it before. It just changed, and you put the guys in a good mood and you're in a good mood, and just, so the ROI, I kind of want to talk about that of just doing this, but for men and women inside of the relationship is like, there's an ROI when you really truly love your spouse, you can't see. And I just want to tell you, thank you for giving that to me.
Well, I love that. Thank you for saying that.
So with that being said, we're not going to not do this. I'm going to continue to do it. I don't give a fuck what we talk about, where it goes. If we say the word alcohol, if we say God, like it doesn't matter to me. I just like doing it, and that's what we're doing.
I think that's why people like it.
Yeah, because, cool. I mean, at the end of the day, alcohol has obviously impacted our life. We all know that I'm the alcohol guy, but I Am a Comeback is less about me and more about we as in us, benefits, family, people, how we live our life. If you like it, cool. If not, that's cool too. Let's put an early plug in if you do like it to go share something with somebody that needs to hear what we have to say. However, this conversation today, I want to talk about doing, and I think we've talked about this from my point of view.
Sure.
Doing what you say you're going to do.
We've definitely talked about that from your point of view and what it means to be a man and do exactly what you're saying.
But we're not talking about that today. What do you think we're talking about?
Me.
And what do you think I'm talking about specifically?
The triathlon.
Exactly. And pride. So I'll tee this up. I've been waiting to do this episode. Obviously, Ryan, too, on the other side. I'm proud of him as well, because both you guys did exactly what you said you were going to do.
We did.
And what's cool for me, and I'm just going to throw it out there, right? Like Kevin, he was afraid he was going to drown, so he backed out of it. Dom had a fight, and maybe he was hurt and he didn't get to do it. But 4 of you guys started, and 2 of you guys did it. One being my wife, and the other being seemingly one of the next closest guys to me. Mm-hmm. And I love the ripple effect of what it means to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
So, also, like I was so proud, like being able to watch you come running in. And for those of you guys listening, Kendra decided to do it. She has a fucked up knee, literally needs surgery on the knee. Well, we don't know if you need surgery because you won't go to the doctor, but I'd assume you probably need knee surgery, and you did it on a mountain bike, which I think is pretty interesting. So I don't really have any topic today on like alcohol or anything like that. I just want to tell you how proud I am of you. And I want to just kind of hear from your journey, what it was like, because there's probably some wives out there that can hear this and their husbands should be like encouraging them and egging them on to do what they want to do. I crystal fucking clear, number one, never want to run a triathlon. Like I'm just that's not me.
Yeah.
But here's what I do know. I'm a pretty smart dude, and I understand what, training and mindset and like actual what it takes to compete at this level. And I could have told you multiple times, like, I did. I said, hey, you can buy whatever you want, but I didn't want to make it my choice. Meaning like you should probably buy a bike. You should probably get one of these Speedo singlets. Like you should probably get the right shit to do it. You're like, nah, I got my sweatpants. I got my mountain bike. And this is me just believing you. I'm like, well, fuck it. You go, girl. And I could have said what I wanted to say, but it would have like put these thoughts in your mind. And then it would have been me telling you what to do. And I'm like, no, that's not how we operate. I'm gonna let you figure it out. I'm gonna support you either way.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite. It's not just in this instance, but everything that you do, you support me wholeheartedly, and you let me figure it out as I do it. And I like to say that I'm like naively optimistic about everything that I go into, because one, I'm always just like, yeah, I think I'm just going to do this and I'm just going to go for it, you know, and I usually do it. But with this triathlon specifically, I kind of underestimated, like I was talking with Ryan about the importance of like having the right equipment to do it. So just for like a little people who don't know, triathlon is nearly a 1 mile swim, 26 mile bike, and a 6.2 mile run, all back to back to back to back, right? You try to do it as fast as you can. And yeah, and you just, you know, that's the basis of it.
Try to do it as fast as you can, but I'm pretty sure that's the Olympic one, because they did like a shorter one before that.
Yeah, so I did the full distance. There's a sprint and then there's an Olympic version.
Which is half, like a half mile.
A sprint is like cut all that distance in half of the Olympic. So I did the Olympic one. I was just like, yeah, I told you about 5 months ago, I was like, I'm going to do this. It's going to be awesome. I have a mountain bike and I'm just going to wear my, you know, my one-piece swimsuit to swim. And I was like, yeah, I'm an athlete. Like, whatever, I can do this. And I did do it. And I finished it, and it was awesome, and I was really proud of myself. But yeah, I definitely underestimated the importance of having the right equipment, because...
And you finished.
And I finished, yeah. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I did the entire thing.
Did everything, kept going.
Yep.
Just under 4 hours.
Just under 4 hours.
Which was pretty fucking amazing.
It was really cool. It was a really awesome experience, to say the least, yeah.
If I was going to say... You know, you started off hot and heavy with the training, but then obviously with our life that we live and the kids and traveling and fun, it kind of went like you weren't as intense all the way through as you could have been.
For sure.
Which I've got mad props for you to be like, did it. But it kind of like, it's kind of who we are.
You know, life happens, and I definitely have some sort of, I don't know, like life ADHD, where I'm like, oh, this seems like a good idea. I want to try this, and I want to try this. And then, you know me, I'm like, oh, I want to try this, but I want to be like amazing at everything that I try, you know? And so when I first started training for the triathlon, I was like, yes, I'm going to be the first in my age group to finish. I want to do this, this, this. And I had really awesome goals, and I was training super hard, and I was still training all the way up until the triathlon, but definitely half-assed. Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go run. Okay, now I'm going to go for a bike ride. I'm going to do it indoors. Whatever. Either way, I signed up to do it and I completed it, and it felt really amazing. I was really proud of myself. I definitely, like I said, I learned a lot. The coolest thing when I was reflecting on all back of like the triathlon, reflecting, just sitting at night, I've done a lot of cool stuff in my life. You know, triathlon. I joined the military. I've stargazed on Mount Zion. I've climbed like crazy dangerous peaks with my husband. I have surfed in Costa Rica. I've surfed next to turtles. I have done just like so many. It's hard to think when you're on the spot, right? It is. And either way, I don't need to like go and I list off all the amazing things I've done, because I just don't need to do that. But what's cool is, at one point in my life, I said I want to do this no matter what it is, and I've done it. And the fulfillment that I can get when I sit back and I reflect on how many freaking amazing things I've done, seen, tried, whether I was good or bad at it, irrelevant. I've gained so much knowledge and wisdom and confidence, true, authentic confidence, in saying I want to do this and trying something. And
this is like something you do almost every 12 to 16, 18 months. You get this idea like, oh, you know what we're going to do? A CrossFit competition.
Yeah.
Right? You signed up for that. And then, oh, you know what we're going to do? A 22-mile ruck with no training. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? This triathlon. So I'm sure there's something that's going to be coming.
I already know what I want to do next. So it's in Alaska, and I've looked it up. It's in Seward, Alaska. It is labeled the toughest 5K on the planet. And yeah, it's a 5K. You literally like run up a mountain, a very steep mountain in Alaska, 4th of July. And it's in Alaska, which you know I want to go. So I was like, you know what? I think that's what I'll do next. And we'll just make a trip out of it, and it'll be amazing. And that'll be tough as hell. I already know. So whatever. Well, you're in. Yeah.
Yeah. That might be something I can do.
But either way, what's again, just to like, no matter what it is, so many women specifically, and this is like coming just from my perspective, hold themselves back from doing anything for multiple reasons. But one, they think like, oh, I could never do that. I'm not ready. I'm not ready enough. You will never
be ready for anything.
You will never be ready enough, no matter, if you sit back and you reflect after, you're going to be like, oh, I could have done this better. I could have done this better. I should have done this better. It is always how it works. You will never be fully ready enough. Do it anyways. Another big takeaway from doing as many things as I've done, obviously mindset is huge. If you want to do it, just go freaking do it.
Yeah.
There's so many women also that will hold themselves back from doing anything for the fear of being judged or looking silly or looking stupid. And I know that sounds coming because I'm going to be 32 coming up here. And, you think that should dissipate the older you get. Like you shouldn't care what people think, you shouldn't whatever. But so many women do. They're embarrassed to look a certain way. They're embarrassed to look stupid. They're embarrassed to try something new for fear of being like, oh, I'm not going to, the only thing that you're hurting is yourself. Right. And then in the end,
I don't think that's just for women.
I think it's for men. You're right. I was just speaking like from my perspective. Mm-hmm. But I essentially was like one of the last people to come in through that triathlon. Not the very last, but I was like out of 700 people, I was near the end. Okay.
Well, there's another statistic too that I think is interesting, and I'll give that back to you. But 700 people paid. And then you say like 200
something,
287 or something like that came through. And there was probably, I counted like, because we saw you run through it after you, there was probably about another 40 people or so that had ran after you. So you weren't like...
Either way.
What I heard from Ryan was the guy that did it, he did like sub 2 hours or something, the guy that won.
Insane.
So like,
insane athleticism. Either way, I'm just saying like, me going through and doing it for myself because I wanted to and because I said I was going to, is all that really mattered, and I do get complimented, not often, but enough from you and enough from people who have seen my true transformation and growth and like, oh my gosh, you're so confident and you're just really coming into yourself. That doesn't happen because of just coincidence or on its own. It's because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for it because why not? And I'm so grateful for every opportunity and for everything that I've tried, whether I failed, succeeded, came in last, came in first, met new people, like whatever it is. There's so many amazing things that happen just when you decide to go for it because you said you were going to freaking go for it. And yeah.
That's in anything in your life.
Anything in your life, really. Yeah.
So where I sit with this and kind of want to make it a little about relationships as well as like, I'm hurt. I've got tons of injuries, right? But I'm pretty athletic. If I really wanted to do it, I could have done it, right? If I really, really wanted to do it, or maybe I can't right now, but if we back it up, like when we did the CrossFit competition, it was your thing. I'm going to tell this story, right? It was your thing, and I specifically didn't train. I just kind of did a couple different exercises, and I walked in and
you got first place.
Got first place and got like beat. There was like 2 or 3 other guys were like really good and was like
legit
CrossFitters, like in the pro division. I was like competing just underneath them. And I'm like, fuck, it didn't bother me because obviously we do it together and I was there to support you. But I'm like, dude, you can't compete with your wife. You need to support your wife. And there was a thing that happened at the CrossFit and it was like, I don't want to make everything about me.
Yeah.
Right. And I think men, we're gonna make this about relationships, but I think too often because we go out, we hunt, and we do things, and maybe there's women that do this as well. I'm just saying from like the shoes that I fit, like you can like dwarf your significant other and make everything about you.
Yep. And you want to know what's really interesting is we were still relatively new. I don't know if we were married or not when we did that CrossFit competition. We might have been. But I remember I was training so hard for that CrossFit competition and I was like doing the work, and I had my friend Johnny at the time was like, I'll train you. I know all these CrossFit things, and I was really pushing it. And I didn't place and I didn't do anything in that CrossFit competition except for show up for myself. And I did really, really well. And then when you got first place, I was so proud of you because I was like, yes, that's my husband. I want you to be better than me at everything. I really do. But my feelings were really hurt because I was like, damn, if you would have just been there and supported me instead of, which it goes back to exactly what you were saying. I was proud of you and I was like, yes. But at the same time, I was like, dang it. Like, I just wanted him to be proud of me,
And you never really have said that to me, but I felt that.
Yeah.
And I made a decision at that point like, if you notice, we work out together and we do all the things, but I won't compete at anything you're competing because I will not make everything about me.
Yeah.
Because I can't lose.
And you know what? It leaves us space because we are such competitive.
I will say though, I don't mean to cut you off. That was one of the most fun things. And I did cheer you the fuck on.
You did. I know
but once we showed up to win, like, I'm not losing.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't have wanted you to lose. That's why it's so
proud of you as it was.
And I was so proud of you. Like, if you wouldn't have got first place, I would have been like,
you're a pussy.
You're a pussy. Yeah. I mean, honestly, right. But it leaves us space to support and to encourage one another. And like I said, because we are so competitive, and that is the nature of us. We're playful. We're competitive. We want to win. We want to do great. So we found that out when we did that competition. Like, okay, maybe not doing the same thing, but if you want to do a CrossFit competition on your own, sign up for it, do a men's division. Or if I wanted to, it leaves us space to encourage and support each other without feeling, and I don't know the word for it, but without that feeling that I would have had, not let down. No, I'm talking about before.
No, but so we'll put it this way. Like, so this triathlon, right? Obviously I can't do it. I have no desire, but it was like an opportunity. Actually, we'll back up because after we did the CrossFit competition, then we did that walk, that march walk.
Ruck march.
Right, which
you came in first also.
But we came in together.
We did.
We ran together across me, you, Kevin, and everyone. Like, and I didn't make it about me, I made it about us, but I pushed us to where we needed to be. Then
you were literally the leader of
I led us where we needed to go, and I waited for you, and we did everything together. Right. And even it wasn't a competition, but everything I do is a competition.
Yes.
And then this one here, right? Like, obviously I have no desire, but all the way down to, because I am so competitive and I want you to win and succeed at everything. It was a thing that I did. Like, I wanted you to have a coach. I wanted you to have a coach. I wanted you to have the best bike. I wanted you to have the best food. I'm like, you know what, motherfucker? Like, if you tell her to do that, then that's you doing it for you, not for her. Even though you want her to win, it's because it's what you would do. And you're vicariously living and pushing her to do something. Let her ride her fucking bike.
My favorite thing by far, and I don't even know if I told you how much it meant to me, because could I have had that $5,000 to $10,000 road bike? Absolutely. Could I have had a 300 or whatever, however much the wetsuits are? Absolutely. And do I remember you saying, babe, like, hey, they have this equipment for the triathlon. Why don't you look into it? And then I was just like, no, I'm just going to do what I do. The best thing that you did for me was just be like, all right, cool. Like, I'm going to support you, and I'm literally going to be there for you no matter how you want to do this. I'm going to be there at the finish line.
And I think there's a lot of dudes that when I knew you were making a mistake.
Yeah, you definitely knew.
And because I've ridden, not that I rode road bikes, but like mountain bikes, BMX bikes, my whole life been on wheels, dirt bikes. Like, I understand a lot of these things, and it's very hard to sit back and watch you make a mistake, but it's a mistake by me in my mind. But for you, it was not a mistake.
I was just like,
living your life.
I was living my life. I was like, I'm going to do this. And you're like, I know you're going to finish. You're going to do great. And I was like, yeah, I am.
Yeah. I knew your legs were going to be burnt.
My legs were so tired.
We come walking, the girls in Phoenix were on there, and they saw you run by or whatever. And you must not have seen them because we were there when you went out. That's how, so we got there right as you were just going out. And then I'm like, hey, when they cross right here, about how long is it? Like, well, they're just really getting started.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. And they just came off the bike. I'm like, there's no way that she didn't get her ass smoked on that bike.
Oh my God. I'm telling you guys, let me just tell you something. If you're thinking about doing a triathlon, get a freaking road bike, okay? Because I consider myself a very athletic human. And I had my mountain bike and I was like going, and I'm telling you, maybe people like 70, 80, 90, some people who maybe weren't as athletic,
there were like a lot of overweight people.
They were zooming past me. Okay. Zooming past me. And I was like, in that moment, I knew I fucked up. I was like, okay. But you know what I told myself? I was like, you know what? All you got to do is get through it. Like, just move your legs. All you got to do, you just can't stop moving your legs. And that's what I did.
So I want to tie this into, like, obviously relationships and communication in what we do here. But I think there's some immense amount of power in learning from, I don't want to say past experiences, mistakes, but communicating with you without communicating to you.
Sure. I know what you mean.
And maybe that doesn't make sense. I don't have to make sense, but like living alongside you over the past couple of years and knowing that we're going to this certain place, me allowing you to be you. Now, if obviously someone's going to put you in harm's way or jeopardy or hurt you in some significant way, then I would let you know. But like, this is not just with the triathlon. This is just the latest venture inside of our life.
Let me just, this is how it goes. All a wife truly ever wants is to feel and be supported no matter what feat she's going through in her life. Because remember when I was doing Lethal Ladies too? And you are a multi-million-dollar business owner. Like, you know how to run a freaking business. You sat with me, you gave me ideas when I was like, this is what I want to do. I was so gung-ho about it. And never once did you tell me, no, you shouldn't do that. This is how you should do it. You let me do exactly what I wanted to do. Even though clearly I know you have the knowledge and there were some things where you're like, okay, but this is how we're going to do marketing. And this is what yes, you were leading me and you were guiding me, but never once. You always have supported me wholly and thoroughly in anything that I've ever wanted to do. And that means more to me than anything. And do I know that you're better at me than everything? Hell yes. I want you to be, but I also want you to support and to love and let me figure things out.
Yeah. I don't think you can say, and I know what you're saying, but I don't think you can say that I'm better than you at everything. But in my mantle that I choose, I'm really good at what I do. Your mantle that you choose, there's things that you do that I can't do. Like keep such a peaceful mind when shit's falling apart.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Like, and I'm like this I'm like this coach, right? Yeah. But I'm a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. You are a lunatic.
I'm a fucking lunatic, right? This peaks and valleys. You're all like, you have your shit way more together than I do. Always even keel.
Yeah.
I can get there. I can maintain it, but it requires me to do work.
Sure.
You don't need to do the work.
But you want to know what? I love that about you.
Yeah, most people do. It's it's like a reality show.
I love how masculine and macho and just how hardcore you are about everything. And I wouldn't want you to be any other way. I really wouldn't. So even though, I know we've talked about it before, but like yin and yang and masculine and feminine and whatever, but I wouldn't, like who you are and how you treat me and in the way that you act. And even though we make jokes about you being a lunatic or crazy or like you have all these ebbs and flows, I love that about you. I would never want you to just be some like passive, super like everything is fine, everything is going well, this is great. Like fuck that. I would be like, what is this? Like, I'm that way. I can't have you being that way. You know what I mean?
I think that we've got it figured out together, but the whole moral of why I wanted to bring that up is because allowing you to be you in your entirety or for their wife to be them in the entire, like, here's what dudes want. You said all wife wants is to what was it? Just to
be supported.
Be supported. The truth is all the dudes want is to get laid.
Yeah.
Right?
When you support me and you love me, I want to have sex with you 10 times more. But if you were like bossy and you were telling me, no, you're doing it wrong, this is what you should do, this is how you should do it, I'm smarter, I know better, I'd be like, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, I'm going to bed or whatever, you know?
But the truth is, and this is coming from me and a lot of conversations I have with a lot of dudes I work with, is it sounds cool and macho to say, yeah, I want to get laid, but what they really want is to be desired.
Yeah.
Like they want to be wholeheartedly wanted and needed. Like when I come home from a tough day, of course I want to have sex with you or be with you or whatever. But the reality is I just want to know that all this work, all this ups, downs, ebbs, flows, good, bad, ugly, darkness, light, all the shit that I deal with on a daily basis, this woman I chose to do life with needs me. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think what happens, I don't think I know, at least in the world that I've created, I'm able to get that pretty much whenever I want, when I need, and you can read me back and forth. But it's because I allow you to be you. I've never changed. I was thinking about this in our the other day. Like, I have not changed anything about you or demanded change, yet you have changed everything about you by me leading us and me allowing you to be you. Like, I choose to go, I choose to grow, I choose to lead, and you're like, I'm coming with.
I've said it once and I will say it 1,000 times. The greatest gift that you've ever given me is the freedom to be my most authentic self. And that means, allowing me to grow and to giving me the space and to leading me and to guiding me and to supporting me. And I just never once, like you said, have you tried to change me or disliked me for, I don't know, anything, or I don't know, just.
You actually said that the other day. You're like, I'm sure there's things that you hate about me or dislike about me. And I'm like, I I thought about it like hard.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
because I remember you said that really bothered me that you said I would hate anything about you. And I was like, well, I didn't mean it as in, but I'm sure there was some things that might annoy you. And you're like, no, literally nothing.
There really isn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, I know that everybody wants that, or maybe they don't. I don't know what everyone knows. I know what I know. I know what I know. Yeah. That's what I want. And I can't think of anything better in the world than like being with somebody who you truly just fucking like. I've said this before. As a kid, as a baby, you learn to love people because you're told you should love them. Yep. Right? It's easy to love people. Oh, you should love your mom. You should love your dad. You should love your aunts. You should love. Like it's built into us. But you don't even know what love is. Yeah. But if you can truly like somebody, like I know what it's like to make my own friend to like them. And I love my friends.
Yeah.
Right? But to actually like somebody to where you want to spend time with them all the fucking time is the most amazing thing.
Hands down the best thing. There's nothing in this world. There's no experience. There's no event. There's no anything in the world that I don't want to do without you. I want to do everything with you. I want to share every experience with you. I want to laugh with you. I don't want to miss anything without you. And I truly believe that comes from, kind of backpedaling everything in, but just you allowing the space for me to be me allowing the space for you to be you, and us loving each other for exactly who we are,
One of the things that I'm going to switch over to next, and I got to head to the chiropractor in a couple of minutes. We'll cut this one a little bit short today, is, obviously we had this week I've been deep in thought about life and with time and people passing and on me. And I come to this question of like, have I done enough? Have I done enough?
Sure.
Have we done enough? And tying this all together, right? Like, it seems like every day now driving down the roads, the weather's beautiful in Wisconsin right now, but driving down the roads, the sunsets, the green, the browns, the yellows-ish, there are no reds yet. But
yes, there is reds.
Oh, I didn't see the red. I have not seen that tree or trees. But just kind of looking at what life and experiencing and paying attention to this week and asking myself, have I done enough? And what do I want? Which are the same different things. Every single thought that is coming through my world these past 3, 4, 5 days is like, how do you love your wife deeper? How do you love your kids deeper? When it comes to doing enough, like my words will hopefully live on. We just got done creating hours of content. And I came to work this morning to fucking do more. I get up in my life to do more for you. And I asked you the other day, you were literally sitting, I'm laying there. You could tell I was hurting a little bit, You're
sad, yeah.
Sad, angry, trying to figure some things out about just life. And I said, have I done enough? And you went on to tell me about doing enough. But I don't feel like I've done enough for us in the relationship. And that's something that I think that every dude should aspire to do.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing I know about you for sure is you will always want to know how to love me better. What can I be better at? What can I do for you deeper? Like, I feel like that's a never ending discovery for you.
And that is not because I'm after something. It's because I'm trying to create something. I'm not trying to get, I'm trying to give. And once I've found that the true key to love and happiness and like understanding love is for me to give everything that I am with no reservation, the fucking craziness, right? The money that I make and that we make together that I give to you is not for the money. It's the work that I give to get that money. It's the journey that we've went on from barely making it when we first started to where we are at now and to where we're going to go. It's the relationship with the kids to give them. I was thinking about, you asked me today, you have any pictures of Jade and Fee? And I'm like, well, there's not enough. Luckily I had one. I just took one the other day, but I'm like, well, why don't we have enough of those? Like, you need to take more. It's because they're obviously trying to figure out how to get with one another. Like to mesh in the relationship as brother and sister. All these things that I'm talking about have one in commonality in my mind is like, what do we want?
Sure.
And it's the same question that's got us the most clarity, yet it's also gave us the most fog.
We've also gotten a lot of trouble asking ourselves.
That's what I'm saying, the most fog and the most trouble, like being able to have it all and have what you want. But I will tell you this, that inside of the relationship, when I know the way that I want to treat you is that I don't ever want to change you. What I want in that is for you to be you. Because, I don't think ever about like, oh, I say this because I use it for impact. Is like, she could take half my shit. She could cheat on me when she wants. She could fuck the pool boy. Right? Like whatever things I say is like to impose a point of will, but I never think about that because I feel like I show up every day to make you feel alive.
And you do.
Right? So for guys out there listening, what you can learn from just this simple triathlon thing is that I don't need to impose my will on her every day. I don't need, because I am fucking, this is how we're going to do it. This is how it's going to work. Like in everything I do in my life.
Yeah.
This is the plan. This is the goals. This is the projects. This is how it's going to go. Yet at home, in order to create the sanctuary that we have and for me to have the relationship, is that I give you freedom.
Yeah. Complete freedom.
And I'm a fucking control freak.
You are.
So think about this. So in order for me to have all the control, I give you the ability to have the control over you, which in turn gives me the control to control all. Only to realize and understand that by controlling all, I have to let everything go.
So you're in control of nothing.
So that I'm in control of nothing. Therefore, understand that God's controlling everything. Then now I have control because I realize that there's nothing I can do about everything except for live. It's a wild journey to be on.
So everything Mark just said is literally the type of conversations he tells me every day.
It's a wild.
And I'm like, yes. Yes, babe, whatever you said.
But it's all true.
It's true.
It's all true. So I'm proud of you. I see you. I love you. I'm really, really like, it's really cool to watch you. You know, you and Kevin sitting over here talking today, 32 years old and 33 years old. And he's like, damn, I'm 33. And my thing back to both you guys, for sure you're going to be good. But looking at him is like from 33 to 36, the amount of life that what I've accomplished. And then from 36 to 43, because he was looking at himself like he's old. I'm like, bro, you got nothing but fucking time. And
young spring chickens we are.
Both you guys, right? And I'm so proud to just watch you grow to see where you're at 40 years old. Not financially, right? Like that's not what I'm saying about just the person, the woman.
In every aspect, when I think about my growth financially, I never even think about.
No.
It's like the least one on my...
Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally.
And you, ever since you came into my life is really when that happened.
So that's what I wanted to say for today.
I love you.
I love you too. That's it for this week's episode of the Comeback Couples Podcast. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.